So home ground advantage strikes again in the Global Champions League. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, winning last week on home turf. And now seemingly almost out of nowhere, the Paris Panthers come back to win it at home. But there is no denying the heartbreak for the Istanbul Sultans, who felt so close, yet land up falling away so badly after the pressure took its toll ahead of GCL round 2, and they completely fall off the podium. There are championship stories to tell here, as we find the Berlin Eagles finishing down in 11th place. The Hamburg Giants continue to struggle as well, but Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, find themselves just outside of the podium as they further collect and protect their championship lead. We'll look back on Global Champions League round 2 next here on GCTV.
Les guettes V22 sont conçues à partir de néoprène non toxique, à séchage rapide, durable et résistant, offrant soutien et protection optimale à mes chevaux. Avec V22, je donne la meilleure protection à mes chevaux. Et cela m'amène de la confiance pour augmenter ma performance.
Lamiecel. The future is green.
The home of global champions. Valkenswaard is the European equestrian hub. Incredible grass and sand arenas in the perfect setting to host top sport and the best performances. In the Netherlands at Tops International Arena, the Longines Global Champions Tour of Valkenswaard from the 26th to the 28th of August.
Welcome back to GCTV. Welcome to your reaction of Global Champions League round 2, as victory has now gone to the Paris Panthers. Their best performance of what has been a very difficult 2022 season, finishing on top of the podium ahead of the Miami Celtics and Madrid in Motion, who, Madrid in Motion, just by the way, make a nice climb up on the overall championship standings. They now are inside the top 3. We'll give you the combined and overall championship rankings a little bit later on this afternoon as we head back to Paris and prepare for the winners' ceremony. This is Super Saturday. There is still a Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Paris to follow. But for now, we will continue to look at the winners' ceremony. The fans in attendance standing by. The weather, unfortunately, has not been too great in Paris today for GCL round 2, as the rain has fallen sporadically throughout most parts of the day. The raincoats, the rain jackets, the umbrellas have all come out at different stages of the day, but the fans in attendance have certainly been treated to some top quality show jumping in a very iconic arena. Paris Panthers winning, Miami Celtics in 2nd, Madrid in Motion in 3rd. All of these teams on scores of 12. Frederick de Backer did suggest earlier on today that time would be crucial today. Paris Panthers, Madrid in Motion, Miami Celtics, Stockholm Hearts, Valkenswaard United and Prague Lions all finishing on scores of 12. Only time separating those teams. I remind you, Shanghai Swans then finishing just behind the Prague Lions on 16, and the Berlin Eagles, after a very difficult afternoon, a score of 26 penalties today, sends them down to 11th after that run out for Owen McMahon. The highest score of the season for them. And it hurts Berlin Eagles dramatically. Here is a look at the overall championship standings. Stockholm Hearts stay on 177 and protect their championship lead. The Berlin Eagles remain in 2nd. They will consider themselves incredibly lucky. However, they are now just a single point ahead of Madrid in Motion. Prague Lions back on 153, and Shanghai Swans now drop to 5th on a score of 150. But look at that battle for top 4. Look how tight it is between Paris Panthers, who jump up to 8th on 132, and the Prague Lions on 153. Less than 20 points separating 4th and 8th on the overall championship standings. Here we see your winners, a home victory, home ground advantage, once again doing the trick as Ben Meyer and Darragh Kenny go on to win today. And as Floss Bish-Jones said in the winners' interview, it feels like it has been a long time coming. The Paris Panthers have had a very difficult season, but slowly and surely they have begun garnering some momentum. And finally, that momentum today coming through to its climax, finishing ahead of the Miami Celtics in second. A really strong performance from the Miami Celtics as well today. Jessica Springsteen jumping 4 and 4, and Edouard Schmitz 4 in round 1. And a very important clear today in round 2 to keep them on 12 in a strong time as well to finish in second place. And then Madrid in Motion finishing in third place today. Mark McCauley, double clear all weekend long. And Eduardo Alvarez Aznar jumping 4 today after the 8 of Eric van der Vleuten on Dreamland in round 1. Smiles on the face of Darragh Kenny, smiles on the face of Rob Hoekstra as the Paris Panthers finally get it together and finally pick up their first victory of the 2022 season. Let's go down to the Paris ring and join the winners' ceremony for a few moments.
So much to the Academy for their support of our Global Champions League class today. It's amazing how a city like this be our partner in this wonderful Olympic sport. And of course, we're on the countdown now to Paris 2024. Well, as our horses and riders start to find their position, we can ask our riders to dismount, ready for podium presentation.
Une sincère pensée pour tous les groupes aussi qui nous ont rejoints pour tenir les chevaux, les 20 pieds de la terre. Nous allons monter sur le podium de la 3e à la première place. Et appelé sur le podium cette belle équipe de Madrid in Motion, appelé M. Mark McCauley et M. Eduardo Alvarez Aznar pour Madrid in Motion. Appelé sur la 2e marche du podium, les Miami Celtics avec Jessica Springsteen et Edouard Schmitz.
A new signing, one of the most exciting Olympic fine riders in the sport, Edouard Schmitz of Switzerland, joins Olympic medalist Jessica Springsteen from the Miami Celtics here in Paris, and they score silver for second.
Voilà, c'est parfait. Et maintenant, les héros de la saison 2022 sur la plus haute marche du podium, j'appelle les Paris Panthers et le Paris
Very probably all along in the 2 rounds of Darragh Kenny and Volney, but Celtics and Mayhem seal the deal with a fast steer. Both horses the fastest time of anybody. Your hometown winners, Paris Panthers!
grâce aux chevaux, Petzuli, Camaro, Kuno, Zessini, Fabien Valli et Forti, bien sûr. Alors nous allons demander à Virginie Coupéry, Eiffel, de venir commencer par féliciter la 3e place et l'image Motion qui sont félicités par Madame la présidente du Longines Paris Eiffel Jumping qui remet ce trophée à l'Espagnol Eduardo Alvarez Aznar qui est de retour de l'Université aujourd'hui pour Paris et à l'Irlandais Mark McCauley.
As we see the top 3 finishers receiving their prizes for the day, of course starting from left to right, Madrid in Motion. And we saw a big smile on the face of Jessica Springsteen, an important performance for the Miami Celtics today, as Jan Tops, the president and founder of the Global Champions League, makes his way onto the podium to hand out the silver medals to the Miami Celtics. And now handshakes to your champions today, the Paris Panthers. A home win for Darragh Kenny and Ben Meyer on Volney and Feltic HB. Let's not forget how well Ben Meyer and Explosion jumped last weekend in Stockholm, and now showing once again the range and the depth that is available, not just to Ben Meyer, but to the Paris Panthers as well, as he puts in another strong performance, this time on the 12-year-old bay. Feltic HB proving once again the high caliber that is available to Ben Mayer, as we await for the final shot before the three winning teams all make their way onto their horses and do a lap of honor. In case you have just joined us and missed all of the Global Champions League action, Paris Panthers finishing on a score of 12 to win the 2022 Paris leg of the Global Champions League, finishing in a faster time ahead of the Miami Celtics in second and Madrid in Motion in third. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, down in fourth place. But after an overnight score of 12, they will be very happy with that performance and hold on to their championship lead. The Berlin Eagles down in 11th today after a dramatic final round from Owen McMahon that saw them collect their highest score of the 2022 season, a combined 26 penalties following a run-out for Chakra and McMahon. Frustrating for the Berlin Eagles, who somehow hold on to second place. But the podium finish of Madrid in Motion now means that they move up to third place and are now just a single point behind the Berlin Eagles. So a huge victory and a big performance from Madrid in Motion, who make up serious ground on the overall championship standings and go on to collect yet another podium in the 2022 season. But everyone was keeping eyes on the Istanbul Sultans, and we're now joined by Omar Karaevli. Omar, thank you very much for joining us today. Heartbreaking for you. Did the pressure take its toll? What went wrong?
Yes, thank you. Okay, Andre was first to go, I mean, I had not so much chance than going for the class.
Have you had a chance to chat to Andre? Do you find out how he felt about his round, where it went wrong for him?
I must say, after such a round, I don't like to speak myself directly about the round, so I didn't speak to Andre as well, but definitely I will talk to him.
Omar, this was a great performance from the Istanbul Sultans. I know it's been a difficult finish, but to get yourselves in this position was a really strong performance. Does it give you belief that you can once again try and replicate this for the rest of the stages to come?
Sure, like I said before, it motivates us, and we try to do our best the next shows.
All right, Omar Karaevli, thank you very much, and tough break today, but well done to the Istanbul Sultans after a really strong first round performance, just unable to get over the line today, and perhaps the pressure taking its toll. Andre Americo Di Miranda coming home on 17 penalties today, and Omar Karaevli with a score of 4. It took the team to 25 and took them right out of contention. So the Istanbul Sultans, the final team to go today, in pole position, looking for their first ever Global Champions League victory, unfortunately falling away right at the death and unable to hold on to their lead after GCL round 1. So where to from here for the Global Champions League? The Berlin Eagles, a former championship leader, also had a lot of drama today, because whilst they were looking to try and keep the pressure on, we saw Christian Kukuk, the first man come out for his team, jumping clear in round 1 on Simal, his 9-year-old. Unfortunately, a fault going for him, coming home in a score of 4. He was followed by Owen McMahon on Chakra, his 12-year-old, who unfortunately had a very dramatic round, as we mentioned, a run-out, providing the highest score of the season for the Berlin Eagles. He then finished on 18 penalties. They then took their overall score to 26, and much like the Istanbul Sultans, they completely fell out of contention. They do still hold on to second place. However, they are just a single point ahead of Madrid in Motion. So the Istanbul Sultans, as we mentioned, Andre Americo Di Miranda on Hilfinger, the first out the team after jumping such a sensational clear in round 1, came home in 17 penalties, time faults and jumping faults for the Brazilian. And that already took the Istanbul Sultans straight out of contention, and not much left for Omar Karaevli to be able to try and achieve their on Chestan de Pom d'Or, coming out and jumping 4 penalties. It meant that the Istanbul Sultans finished on 25, and because of that, failed to cash in on a golden opportunity to get themselves on a podium and perhaps even pick up their first ever GCL victory. So how was it meant to be done? Who then set the bar? That was the home team and the Paris Panthers today. A difficult season for the team, and slowly but surely the tide is beginning to turn. This their best performance of the season thus far. Dara Kenny coming in for Gregory Watley on Ace of Hearts, who jumped 4 in round 1. Dara Kenny then came in and jumped 8. At the time, we thought this was going to be another disappointing round from the Paris Panthers, but then Ben Meyer and Feltic HB delivered a clear that kept the team on 12. They did so in a really fast time, and after the Istanbul Sultans struggled, they then realized early on that this now was going to be the opening victory of the 2022 season for the Paris Panthers. Following just behind them was the Miami Celtics, and we saw a big smile on the face of Jessica Springsteen, the Miami Celtics. She jumped a 4 in round 1 and landed up jumping a 4 in round 2 as well. Single faults, just 4 penalties per round for Jessica Springsteen. And that then opened the door for Edward Schmitz, the newcomer to the team. He jumped 4 penalties in round 1 and jumped a crucial clear after making a horse change for round 2. That clear for Edward Schmitz kept Miami Celtics on a score of 12, did so in a good time as well, and thrust them onto the podium and gave them some valuable championship points. Madrid in Motion find themselves on the podium as well this weekend, and a strong performance again from Madrid in Motion. Eric van der Vleuten jumping 8 penalties in round 1, but Mark McCauley then coming in, jumping a clear like he did in round 1. Eduardo Alvarez Aznar jumping 4 penalties today to keep the team on 12, and that 12 was enough to now see them find themselves onto the podium. I believe that Mark McCauley is standing by and have a word with us and find out exactly how he feels after his performance.
Very good, yeah. Clear again today, so double clear for the team, so I'm very happy with that.
So how much needed was this clear for the team if we look at the overall ranking?
You know, it's always important to try and jump clears. That's what team jumping is all about, whether it be Nations Cups or Global Champions League. It's all about jumping clear rounds. So to be honest, I don't really look at the other teams and their results. I just try to do the best I can do with my horse on the day.
Double clear for you. Give that extra confidence for you if we look at the upcoming stages.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've had a bit of a dry moment the last few shows, so to jump double clear today will give me a lot of confidence in my riding going forward. Yeah.
So, Edward Schmitz jumping very well for the Miami Celtics. And there we hear from the Madrid in Motion team as well, who find themselves on the podium today. Let's then go back to the Miami Celtics. Edward Schmitz standing by for us. Edward, congratulations. A superb performance. Tell us how you feel about how you jumped in Paris this weekend.
I'm very proud of my horse's performance and my own. I mean, when you get an opportunity like this, you want to show that you're not here to bring the water bottles, but to jump clear rounds, and I'm very pleased with the second place.
Talk to us about the horse change after round 1. What confidence did you have in your horse to come in for round 2 to deliver such a crucial clear?
I have confidence in both my horses, but I thought I'll spare Kuno for this afternoon, that he jumps both rounds. I mean, the round and then the Grand Prix. And I'm also very pleased with Gama's performance yesterday.
It's been a difficult season for Miami, Edward. I wonder what a performance like this will do for the remaining stages for the team.
I hope that it's the first element of a great series of success. My explanation for the lack of success is it's horse sport. It happens. You can have the best riders, and it just doesn't happen. And I hope that we'll have that missing luck in the second part.
We look forward to seeing you on the podium again for the latter stages of the competition. Eduard Schmitz, congratulations. Miami Celtics getting onto the podium today, finishing in second place on the second fastest 12 of the weekend. Eduard Schmitz suggesting perhaps that maybe this might just be the springboard for the Miami Celtics to go on and collect some more podiums towards the back end of the season. Now, a lot of eyes were on Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M. Your championship leaders knew that they were in trouble. They had collected 8 penalties from Lily Keelan in round 1, 4 penalties from Lily Atwood in round 1. It left them on an overnight score of 12. They knew that they had very little room to maneuver. But a clear from Lily Keelan and a clear from Lily Atwood meant that the Stockholm Hearts stayed on their overnight score of 12. At the time, taking a really strong position, with still a handful of teams to come. And there we can see the embrace, we can see the smiles on the faces of the Stockholm Hearts team and what it means for them, crucially, to now find themselves finishing in 4th place. As we said, they remain championship leaders and in fact lead by 19 points over the Berlin Eagles. So extending that lead after the Berlin Eagles could only manage an 11th place. How does the finish feel for the Stockholm Hearts? Let's find out.
Yeah, today we actually performed the way we planned to both days. Yesterday when we spoke, we had said that we would like to be better today, and we did it. So that's, I think both of us have unbelievable horses, and it just fell into place today.
So why did it play out as planned?
I think for me, I really changed my ride today. My horse's newer combination with me, and I tried to honestly do less, to basically not try so hard, which is easier said than done, and my horse jumped unbelievable. I try not to think too much about the other riders. I try to think about what I have to do. And I must say the Stockholm Hearts as a team, we really band together. There is so much support, and that makes such a difference. After yesterday, we just got motivational words to try to pull it together, and everyone was so positive. And really, I do believe that makes a huge difference.
Lily Keelan having a word with GCTV following a strong comeback from the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, to finish on an overall score of 12 penalties, enough to see them finish in 4th place. But the day will belong to the Paris Panthers. And if we have been waiting a long time for a first victory of the season, can you imagine how long Rob Hoekstra has been waiting for a first season win? Rob, how far away or how close has this day felt for you this season?
Well, I mean, we've got close a few times, last fence down here and there, and it hasn't really worked out for us. But no, today, obviously Dara made it a bit exciting on the first fence. But no, he recovered well, and Ben rode a fantastic round.
The momentum has felt as if it's starting to swing and build in favor of the Paris Panthers. What was it today that finally made it click?
Well, I mean, we've got Gregory back now. He's got a few more horses. Niall's also now in Europe, so he'll be doing London and Valkenswaard probably. So we have our complete team together, and obviously that makes a difference.
This looked and felt like the team that we were praising pre-season, Rob, and I wonder if now, with a couple of stages left in the year, how much more can be collected? How high up can you go? What is the new goal after Paris this weekend?
The new goal is to win next week. That's it. We look for next week, and then hopefully we go on from there.
All right, we look forward to seeing you go on to win next week again. Rob Hoekstra, thank you very much for your time. Big smile on your face and thoroughly deserved. Paris Panthers coming right at their home event. And as Rob Hoekstra says, the new goal is simple. Go on to win the GCL in the following round. That is all that matters to him. That is all that matters to the team. Paris Panthers finally getting it together and winning their first stage of the 2022 season. And as he mentions, Gregory Watley now coming back. Explosion jumping clear last weekend. Celtic HB in form. Derek Kenny trying to do it for the team. Harry Smolders in the mix as well. Could they now once again look like the dangerous outfit that we praised pre-season? Now, Valkenswaard United also continue on somewhat of an upward curve for the defending champions. They find themselves finishing in 5th place today on a score of 12 as well. Fellow Casterfield, Edwina Tops-Alexander, after 4 penalties in round 1, jumped a very important clear in round 2. just inside the time allowed, but the clear does stand, unfortunately, for Valkenswaard United on Unique du Francport. John Whittaker unable to go clear. One jumping fault, 4 penalties for him, and it took the team to a score of 12, but unfortunately, because of his time, it was not enough to see them finish higher up and then stay in that big group of 12s, just slightly further back, finishing in 5th place. Now, Shanghai Swans have a similar story to that of Stockholm Hearts because they had a very difficult opening round in Global Champions League round 1 and knew that they had to be incredibly impressive today. Christian Ullmann coming in for Jean Sandron, jumping Mandato, jumping clear as well, leaving the team thus far on their overnight score of 16 penalties. And then Malon Zanotelli, after a disappointing and difficult opening round in Global Champions League, jumping 8 in round 1, then made a horse change and all of a sudden came back and delivered the kind of performance, the kind of clear that they were expecting the Shanghai Swans, that he was expecting the Shanghai Swans, and he then jumps clear. Christian Ullmann and Mandato jumps clear. That kept the Shanghai Swans on a score of 16, and because of that, it kept them slightly in the mix, just behind the group of teams on 12, and it keeps them slightly in the mix, although they do drop down to 5th place on the overall championship standings. Let's hear from Malon Zanotelli.
Yeah, I think so. The mare jumped fantastic. Christian did a fantastic round. It was nice to be in the ring in a private VIP to watch his round. And I'm very pleased with my mare. She's an amazing horse.
So it was your first appearance for the Shanghai Swans. If we look at the result of yesterday, was it giving you extra pressure for today?
Of course. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on myself in general. I think that's what brings us to be good riders. But yesterday, definitely disappointed with my performance. The horse jumped well. I just didn't ride good enough. And today I was trying to be on form to represent the team as good as possible. Try to bring us up a little bit on the points.
That kind of performance from Malon Zanotelli that the team was expecting in GCL round 1 coming together for GCL round 2, and that incredibly important double clear from the team today kept them as high up perhaps as they could have hoped for. A lot more to come from Malon Zanotelli, you would imagine, throughout the remaining stages of the 2022 season. A team that we praised heavily in the start of the weekend was going to be the Prague Lions. We thought that they were going to be a team to watch. And despite a difficult 8 for Sergio Alvarez Moya in round 1, Brian Mowgre jumped clear and 4 this weekend, and that opened up the doorway for Moya and Alamo to jump a very important clear himself. That kept the team on 12, and they finish just behind Valkenswaard United today on one of those groups of the teams on 12. It does mean that they now move up to 4th place on the overall championship. They are now on 153 points, just 2 behind Madrid in Motion on 155. So still very much in the mix, the Prague Lions, and they will be keeping a very close eye on the teams that follow. They are just 3 points behind 2nd place, the Berlin Eagles. We caught up with Brian Mowgre.
Such a bummer. You know, the last fence being a plank is never easy, and especially with that inside turn there for the time allowed. So I think, you know, my horse was jumping amazing, fantastic. I think it was just a really unfortunate fence for us to have down, but, you know, looking good, hopefully qualified for the Grand Prix, and I think that round set him up perfectly, and I'm very happy with how he performed.
But what went wrong?
You know, it's a bit hard to say. You know, I think there's a little bit of a weakness, that type of fence for my horse and I, so I probably could have set him back a bit more. I think I was thinking of the time allowed too much through there, so I could have maybe taken a bit more time and added another stride or so.
A real bummer, says Brian Mowgre. Nice way to describe it. The Prague Lions still very much in the mix from an overall championship point of view, but they did very well to keep themselves in the hunt today. 4 from Mowgre, clear from Sergio Moya. Let's show you the tables as to how it ended this weekend. As we said, a huge group of 12s today. Paris Panthers finishing the fastest of the 12s ahead of Miami Celtics and Madrid in Motion. Shanghai Swans finding themselves in 7th, and Valkenswaard United continue on this really impressive upward curve as the defending champions finish in 5th place this weekend. The Istanbul Sultans from pole position down all the way to 10th place. And the Berlin Eagles at one stage looking to try and take victory today, unfortunately saw themselves jump all the way down to 11th place, powered by Fundis Reichsport. And then we saw the Hamburg Giants. At one stage, we thought championship contenders, continuing to struggle both on and off the ring as well. The overall standings, how much have they changed following this weekend's performance? No change in the top two. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, remain in first place. And the Berlin Eagles, powered by Fundis Reichsport, remain in second place. But Madrid in motion, now up to third. They are just 1 point behind. Prague Lions do drop, but the point difference is so small that they will still feel that they are very much in the mix. And Shanghai Swans down to fifth. Valkenswaard climb. And take a look at how tight things are getting. Paris Panthers now inside the top 8 on 132 and find themselves barely 20 points outside of the top 4. So, if performances continue to come for the Paris Panthers, can they start to make a shout at the top 4? Wouldn't that be an incredible turnaround? Rome Gladiators dropping, New York Empire dropping, London Knights and Cannes Stars all losing ground after difficult performances this weekend. But that essentially puts to bed the Global Champions League live from Paris in 2022. The night is not over. It's Super Saturday and there is still an LGCT Grand Prix of Paris to come. But as far as the Red Show is concerned, as far as the Global Champions League is concerned, we say congratulations to the Paris Panthers, champions for 2022. Let's look back on an eventful weekend.